World Darkness Update, Recession will be severe, long and bad. In the year 2023, a world recession is likely to occur next year, according to the predictions of many institutions, including the World Bank. High inflation that hit various countries, then responded with aggressive interest rate hikes, made the world economy dark. High inflation will reduce purchasing power, while high interest rates will hamper expansion and hamper consumer spending. As a result, a recession is in sight. The risk of a recession is getting worse as the Russia-Ukraine war, which never ends, is now intensifying. The war between the two countries was one of the triggers for the skyrocketing prices of crude oil, natural gas, and coal. As a result, energy inflation has become insane, and has now spread to various sectors of the economy. Inflation that is ingrained will certainly take a long time to come back down. The Central Bank of the United States, U.S., or known as the Federal Reserve, the Fed, has raised interest rates by 300 basis points this year to 3%, 3.25%. However, inflation in the United States is still high, above 8%. Economist Nouriel Roubani, better known as Dr. Doom, when it successfully predicted the 2008 financial crisis, is now projecting a recession will hit the United States by the end of 2022 before spreading globally next year. This will not be a short and shallow recession, it will be a severe, long, and bad recession, Roubani said, as reported by Fortune, Wednesday, 21/9/2022. He sees the current economic condition as similar to 2007/2008, seen from the high state and corporate debt. This can trigger a severe crisis. The Fed is said to continue to raise interest rates will create many zombie companies formed during the era of low interest rates, but so far have not been able to generate profits to pay off debt. Many zombie institutions, zombie households, corporations, banks, shadow banks, and zombie nations will die as interest rates continue to rise, Roubani said. Dr. Doom also warned financial markets would crash if a severe, long, and bad recession occurred. The S&P 500 is expected to fall by 30% to 40%, depending on how severe the recession is. This of course can have a negative impact on Indonesia. The financial sector could also suffer, as well as the real sector due to the world recession. According to Roubani, the worst-case scenario is not a recession, but stagflation. High inflation in the United States could last a long time due to supply shock problems from the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. Meanwhile, high interest rates will suppress economic growth, so that the world faces the worst risk of stagflation like the 1970s. When inflation is high and gross domestic product, GDP, slows or stagnates, then slowly the economic condition will worsen or die slowly. When economic conditions deteriorate, layoffs will occur massively, and the unemployment rate will skyrocket. Inflation and high unemployment rates can be the hallmark of stagflation. Because the two are usually the opposite. Stagflation is more difficult to cure than recession. Because, policymakers must be able to balance between inflation and the labor market. When inflation is high, interest rates will be hoisted up, but the risk is that the labor market will weaken and the unemployment rate will increase. Conversely, when the unemployment rate is high, what is needed is low interest rates, but the risk is that inflation will increase. The community will feel the impact very heavy. The high unemployment rate makes income low, but the price of goods is very expensive, which is reflected in high inflation.